Hey everyone, welcome to my latest YouTube video. Before we get started, as always, please check out my books, Professional Golf for the Rest of Us, as well as Stitched a Novel. The novel makes a great holiday gift as we head into the holiday season. If you have anyone in your life that loves to read books, especially that are golf adjacent, if you will, makes a great gift for the holidays. So if you're interested, link will be in the description below to my Amazon author page. But for the time being, let's go ahead and get into this latest video, which is going to be a side-by-side comparison of my swing between 2021, when I was really making some strides towards improving my golf game, and then life happened, I guess, and it wasn't making as much progress. But on the left was the summer of 2021, early morning. You can kind of tell it's a little overcast. And on the right, it is just a couple weeks ago. Wanted to show you the Premiere Pro version first, just because for whatever reason, when it exported, it now looks like this. Everything just kind of ended up being more exposed, and then this side is overexposed. I'm not going to tweak it. I'm not going to tinker with it. You can still see everything, but from here we can just look at it. So we're just going to do a quick swing overview. Try not to make it too long. First thing we'll notice is at address, you can tell that my hands are a little lower, so that's something that I definitely want to think about and work on, as well as my posture. Now this just could be because I got a nice big bulge of belly fat here that's hiding whether or not I'm in good setup position. I've always stood more upright than most. I've never been one that really sticks their butt out and kind of hunches over. I've always felt super comfortable just swinging there, and you'll notice that both swings are fairly upright. But here I feel like I have a little more bend, and there's more of a straight line relationship, more of an angle between my ears and my glutes. Whereas here, it feels like it's more rounded, not really quite getting the same kind of posture that I was. And once again, that could just be my eyes playing tricks on me. And then the only other difference here is that I'm swinging a 6-iron here on the left, and I'm swinging a 5-iron here on the right. Different clubs. I've upgraded irons since this. I think I'll do a what's in the bag for one of these videos coming up. But those are the first things that I noticed. And also just being smaller, not as much of a second chin here. The arms are kind of hanging slightly lower. The overexposure is making it look like I've got this massive forearm, Quagmire style. Quagmire style over here. It looks like it's ripped, but I can assure you that it's not. Might just be a little too zoomed in. But from there, I think we can go ahead and get this started. It's not going to be a perfect analysis. This one, I had the camera kind of pointed right towards the middle line here, and then this one is more down the target line, which I still messed up. I'm not the greatest at really setting these. The reason you can tell is that I'm essentially aiming all of these over at this 200-yard marker over here. And the idea is the way I do it is I'll have the path, the club head line will be just to the right of where my intended target is. So in this example, my aim point, or at least what I'm supposed to be aiming at, is the middle zero in 200, and then therefore the alignment rod is supposed to point at the second zero. And I still think I messed that up. So not going to be perfect, but we're going to make here. So let's go ahead and get the swing started to about quarter way. It's not going to be fully synced, and you'll see that especially on the downswing, which I'm just going to attribute to that I had a faster swing speed 2 years ago when I wasn't in such bad shape. Club swings for me fairly quickly to the inside. That's normal for me. Actually, this club actually seems to be more aligned now than it was then. But it's not something I've ever thought about. I've always kind of been kind of in, and then the club kind of stands up. If you want any other like old school, if you like a lot of old school teaching, I really like John Redmond's book from like 1992, 1993. It's what I based my golf swing off of back in the early 2000s. But here, you can tell that it swings to the inside, not a big deal to me. But then as we get to the top, let's go ahead and make sure we get all the way there. Okay, so from here, what I notice is that my hands there's just a little more air, just a little bit more rotation, which is obvious. I actually have my chin closer to, or my right shoulder closer to underneath my chin. Here, it's just kind of smashed up next to it. That's a nice little sexy piece of arm fat there. Here, actually, similar hats too, especially this time because it was hat. But anyways, just a little more clearance. The club is slightly more rounded. Now that could be just the basis of swinging. My posture here really sucks. I'm basically standing up tall, and you'll notice that on impact that I don't have any kind of load into. I'm basically. I'll just draw a line here. So here, it's more tilted, like everything's rotating around it, but it's more tilted here. And here it feels like if I just go like right through my ear, it's a few degrees, but I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious that I'm just not turned at all. Not rotating, just kind of standing up with my upper body, trying to get the club somewhat farther back. And where it really is going to show is when I start heading down, which I can do. I'm just trying to look and see if there's anything else. Everything to me, I mean, I usually have a cupped left wrist, or right wrist, sorry. The left wrist for you right-handers. So maybe a little flatter, but that's just standard for me. Club face is going to be anywhere between square to slightly closed. Once again, standard, not really anything I have to worry about. But now it's where you can really see the difference as I start to swing down into impact. Actually, let's back up just a little bit here. Well, first of all, you'll notice that on 2021, now, the thing to keep in mind here, even though these are 2 years apart, these were both shot on an iPhone. They were both shot at 60 frames per second and then slowed down to 24 frames per second. So they're basically the same. The only difference is that one got overexposed and the other one is slightly underexposed, but you can tell here that I try to sync them up as much as possible, and I got to the ball quicker, and I think that just means that my swing is faster. If there's any video nerds that can perhaps provide a little extra insight, I'd love to know it. But to me, these are basically the exact same videos, and I clearly get to impact much faster. Here you can see that the club is pretty much going right down the line. I think. Don't correct me. I'm not a teacher. I don't analyze swings for a living. This is just my thought process here. Club on the left here comes in a little shallower. I mean, like I said, I'm very much like an upright, almost like one plane. Like it really doesn't really deviate much. It'll come slightly more from the inside on the downswing, but it's in comparison to the backswing, it's actually kind of over the top. If you remember, we'll just go back here real quick. So if you remember on the backswing, the club's like way under here at the same spot, but now when I get to here, it's basically what we used to the way we used to refer to it back in the day, back in high school, was the club head essentially covers your hands. both on the backswing and even through impact. So here, club just snaps right into the ball. You can see that I've always struggled with rotating through. That's why you'll never, like a lot of players that get a lot of power, they'll usually have both cheeks facing the camera. Here, I'm about a cheek and maybe like an eighth of my right cheek coming through. That's just something that I've always struggled with, and it's something that I have to continuously work on. But there's what we're working on there. But as you go through, we're not even going to look at the other side because I can already see how ugly it is. We're just going to focus on what it used to be, and then everything kind of is forced through. The club exits through underneath the shoulder, which is good for me. And then it's relatively getting the hands higher up is good for me because it actually feels like I'm actually getting some extension, and my shoulders aren't so tight that the club just ends up basically next to my ear with no arm extension, as you can see in Exhibit B. So let's go ahead and go back here real quick. And so obviously there's more speed in 2021. As I get to the top here, I mean, I'm rotating, but the club is now it's very, very obvious that I'm coming way over the top of this one. And right there, I've hardly rotated at all through. I'm going to chalk that up to probably lame posture, and also just being very stiff, not having full range of motion in my glutes, quads, IT band, every muscle that makes up the hips. So that's pretty bad at impact. It's kind of coming over the top. Essentially, this was originally supposed to be an alignment video, but when I saw the swing on the right, I said I can't do. Nobody's going to take me seriously if I'm here making alignment videos and I can't even get through the ball. Like that's just disrespectful. So I guess finally start clearing right around here when the ball's way gone, and I've had to, and you can tell that I'm struggling because if you look at this divot pattern, alignment is right here. I'm actually going to change the color here real quick to blue. My club path is coming through like this. Like that's awful. That's really bad. Where I think if you come here, we'll just use opposite colors. And my swing path, it deviates a bit because I'm kind of moving the stick, but it's more. I mean, it's essentially where it's starting, but that's really bad, and that means that I have no clue. I'm just kind of fighting for dear life just to even get the club square. But then if you look through, there's no width coming through, like none at all. Like I barely have any width coming through here, but at least I have big shoulders, and I don't exactly have like the longest arms in the world, which is probably good because I'd probably look pretty dorky that way. But there's like nothing. Like my hands are basically, I could flick my ear if I wanted to, give myself a wet willy. This elbow's basically collapsed. Just all around. And then if we get rid of these, let's see. So if we get rid of these lines here, I'm just testing out this software, but I actually kind of like it. So now if we look at how these shoulders are aligned, you can tell that to me, this is a good indicator of, do you have, are you able to maintain the spine angle through the swing? And here, it's not as much as you would see in maybe another player, but I mean, this is flat. Like, there's no maintaining of a spine angle through here. So that sucks, but that explains a lot, right? So I think this is probably more educational for me, but for those of you that are working on your game, or maybe have some stiffness, or just not able to get through the ball, A lot of times teachers will try to say, well, it's because you're not rotating through or all that. Well, some people, if you sit at a desk all day, or if you're fat and stiff, like I am at the moment, all the rotation in the world, you're just gonna fall on your ass if you try to rotate through. Like, I guess the other thing here is, like, be careful of who you get lessons from, because I tried to I tried to do a YouTube search on how to rotate through the ball better, and a lot of the videos were just saying you have poor rotation because you're not getting any width. It's like, well, what if you don't have any width? Like, you can't just automatically assume that it's because what if somebody sits at their desk for 12 hours a day and they're not addressing the elephant in the room, which is, if you have tight glutes and tight hamstrings and a tight core, like, you can't rotate. So it's very obvious that I still have a long way to go. Alignment still sucks, and even if I do align properly, clubs come in way over the top. So that'll do it for this video. Let me know what you think, as always, if you prefer the overhead views versus the voiceovers as opposed to the live ones. I think I'll do another short game video here pretty soon. But until next time, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and share it with your friends. But until next time, thank you for watching, as always. And if you're out there, whether you're playing on your indoor simulator, if you're out there in the Midwest or East or North, or you're out here in the South, playing actual golf as the temperatures have come down, no matter where you are, I hope you're hitting some stiff ones. We'll see you next time.